What a great question. What is leadership? Leadership isn't necessarily a title. It isn't necessarily a role. Leadership is a way that you interact with others where you put them first. Let me give you an example, and it ties into the story of why this company even exists. But the story goes back to one of my early positions outside of graduate school. I had just finished my master's degree, and I was looking for a job, and I was working part-time as doing temp work, and then that wound up turning into a full-time assignment. And I've been working for this leader for about a year. And at the beginning when I took the job, I said, I'm going to be looking for a teaching job, and when that teaching job opens up, I probably will go do my teaching job. I won't stay here in the corporate workforce. And as I was working for him, nearly a year later, through that process, he kept giving me harder and harder work, and things were more interesting, and I stayed. And I'll tell you that my teaching job never really did open up, but I stayed focused on what I was doing. And almost a year to the day later, from the day that I started, he called me into his office, and his name was Arthur. And Arthur calls me into his office, and he says, Sinikka, have you noticed that I have been giving you harder and harder work to do? And I said, well, I noticed I haven't been bored, so thank you for that. And then he said, did you notice that I've been giving you project work? And I said, I guess I didn't really think about it. What do you mean by that? And he says, I've been watching you, and the way your brain works, I think project work is good for you, and I really think you'd be good at it. And so I've been giving you harder and harder projects, bigger and bigger tasks to do, and looking forward to you doing them, and you've been knocking them out of the park. So I took the liberty of doing something, and this is where he drops the bombshell. He says, I took the liberty of signing you up for all of the training in project management that our company offers. Now, at the time, I was working for EDS, what was Ross Perot's big company out of Plano, Texas. And he says, I've signed you up for all of the project management training. It starts next week. And he says, don't worry, I've hired a temp to backfill for the work that you've been doing. And if you go take these weeks of project management training, if you don't love it, I want you to come back to me and we'll find something else. But if you love it the way I think you will, I want you to spread your wings and fly. And that was the moment right there that I understood what leadership is. And since that day, very, very early in my career, my commitment has been to be that kind of leader, to find people that I could help fly. That's leadership.